Chhillar is Miss World 2017.
Hello and a warm welcome to our special edition of To The Point. On the show this week, a special woman personality who's brought glory to India after 17 years with her coveted title of Miss World. I welcome Manushi Chhillar on To The Point.
Thank you.
Your journey from Miss Beauty Campus to Miss World 2017. Has the journey just begun for you, or you are really in a mood to sit and relax and look back at the moments you've just enjoyed?
I did start from Campus Princess, but I was never like a Campus Princess because I was just selected for it from AIMS. We didn't have a pageant at the Campus Princess because Miss India had changed its format. But yeah, it's been a huge, an adventure for me. There's been so much of changes, but I still feel that winning the Miss World title was just the beginning of something big.
But during this journey, you know, when you got the title and now when you look back, which was the most exciting moment for you, which you really can etch in a book or somewhere where you can pen down?
I have had tons of experiences. I can in fact write a series of novels on my journey, right from the day I entered into the Miss India auditions in Chandigarh to my homecoming here in India. But I think one of the most memorable experiences was when we all climbed the Yellow Mountain in China.
Okay.
And that was the first time the entire mountain was open. And all the Miss World contestants were invited, and we had an opening ceremony up there where I got to speak on behalf of Asia. And going up there over the clouds, we were all running, we were all panting, but I think we were all so excited. And that was something which I felt that with all the teamwork and with everyone just putting in their efforts together, trying to climb up, it's a different feeling, and that's the spirit of the competition.
So you're in a position to say that your dream has come true, right?
Yes.
So, but you know, what perplexes people around the world and also in India, a lot of people have been asking that how were you able to combine the two M's, that is medicine and modeling together, given the fact that you have to burn so much of midnight oil for medicine? How did you really cope with that kind of a schedule?
Well, I was never a model before. And through Miss India, I got introduced to modeling because I went for my pictures for the Miss India entry form.
Okay.
And that's when the photographer really liked my pictures, and a few more people came to know about it. So they just called me in for shoots, and that's how I did a little bit of print. Well, definitely after Miss India, there was no end to it.
Okay.
But that's how I got into modeling, and it's just that I've enjoyed so much being in front of the camera and as well as, you know, being behind my glasses and reading. I enjoy both of them. So somehow I've just managed to balance it out.
But a lot of girls would be interested in knowing that juggling your workouts, your beauty regimes, along with, you know, just getting into the pages of the medicine books, how did you really manage the time at that point of time?
Well, for me, 1 minute was 60 seconds, and that is a lot of time. So I would tell that to myself every morning, that 24 hours, each hour 60 minutes, each minute 60 seconds. You have to make most of it. So definitely there was a lot of planning, a lot of prioritizing that was involved.
Now, there is a perception that, you know, the ladies or the girls who win the Miss World title, generally their next destination becomes Bollywood. Is life really going to be different for you, or are you going to follow the same pattern? How is it going to be?
I don't think there's been a pattern for anyone, to be honest. If you look up,
not really for everyone, yes.
If you look at all the Miss Worlds that India has had, they've all had a very different pattern. And Bollywood is fun, but I mean, I'm 20 right now. I have so many options ahead of me, and I don't want to think in one direction, but keep my eyes open to all opportunities.
You're thinking in all directions, but if I were to ask you your focus area, what would be that one focus area where you really want to focus all the attention?
Of course, this 1 year, that's what I'm focusing on entirely. Okay. Right now, I just want to enjoy, because I know this experience is never coming back. And it's not only something that I learn from, but it is a way of giving back. And with an organization like the Miss World backing you up, it's going to be one journey I'm not going to forget.
But when these moments of glory, come, obviously you've got to sacrifice a lot. For example, there are no private moments. Everybody wants to get a picture clicked with you.
Yes.
You're missing your parents all the time because they're not always along with you. Maybe your little sister, I know of, you've said that you treated her like a Barbie doll. So she's not going to be around with you?
Yes, my cousin. In fact, I actually feel that because now it's a celebration of the whole nation. So I did expect to spend more time with my family during my homecoming, be with them. But it's just that everyone would just be around. So I do miss my private moments a lot.
Right. But you're also working for serious causes in the society. Your project Shakti, I was reading about.
Yes, actually, there's one thing I really want to say is that my project is not named Shakti.
Okay.
Though a lot of people believe it is, but
Okay.
it's actually just named as a project on menstrual management. I haven't given it a name yet.
Right. Menstrual hygiene or menstrual management is still considered a subject which is a kind of a taboo. And when you have to reach out to women in the rural areas, how do you really convince them to come out of their shell and speak about issues like that?
I think it's all about being relatable.
Okay.
Because when you feel that one person belongs to your group, they would want to discuss. And coming from the medical background, that's something you really learn, how to connect to people, how to make them trust you and speak to you about it. And that's really helped me, because being in a medical college, even in before, because in my school I used to be involved in a lot of work.
Right.
I used to really enjoy talking to people, discussing, sharing my life story with them, and discussing their lives. So maybe those skills really helped me when I went to these people, went to these women to speak to them. And when you talk to them as one of them, then they are always willing to share, they're always willing to listen.
Right. I've always, since the time you got your crown, I've been following a number of speeches of yours where you've spoken largely on the sustainable management of, menstrual hygiene. How do you really relate it with the people, and how do you really take it to the grassroots level? Because there's something which is not very, I would say, is popular amongst the people, and not many people are actually working on it.
Well, for me, to be honest, prevention is better than cure.
Okay.
And I feel that it's not just about spreading awareness. If you give people knowledge, you have to give them means to actually practice it. And just giving free sanitary pad samples won't solve the problem. You have to actually have a system where people are able to tend to them for themselves.
Right.
So that is what I have been trying. My efforts were small steps at one time. So initially we have more than 20 village communities in the north of India. We have tried to make low-cost sanitary pads accessible, and we've encouraged the women of the village to become entrepreneurs for their dispensation.
Okay.
So that was our first approach. But now that I have the Miss World organization backing me up, and I also won the Beauty with a Purpose fast-track event at Miss World, a lot of people are interested to help me with my project, to take it forward. So we are working on better ways to make it more sustainable and to make it self-sufficient.
So you've already brought in a spark in the women entrepreneur ecosystem, which means.
Well, I did speak at the GES summit recently.
So, but when you talk about the menstrual hygiene, it's a very serious issue. But there are quarters, in fact, there are large parts of India where you'll find people where there are these myths that when a woman is bleeding, you should not worship, you should not touch the idols, you should not go to the temples. I mean, how can you, in your capacity, change the mindset of women or the people in the country?
Well, if you see my introduction video at Miss World, I always said that India is the land where science meets spirituality, and that's something I've strongly related to, because I myself, though I'm a spiritual person, being brought up by doctor parents, I've really believed in science. And for me, the reason these myths have existed is because at that time there was no science. Okay. And the only way to explain blood was disease, was maybe someone's hurt. And that's why these myths have existed. But if you see education, if you talk about awareness, when people realize that it's something very biological, it's something about science, then automatically when you know the reason behind it, you will rise above those myths. Right. And I, as a person, would never go and tell them that this myth is wrong or this myth is right. But I would tell them that have a reason to believe in these myths. If you can explain, if you have a logical explanation, then you have every right to believe in it.
What is your personal belief? I mean, even though you're spiritual, you also follow the biological norms.
For me, because I know it's a very normal day. It's like any other day in my life.
Okay. Manushi, you also come from a state which has an abysmal record of a very low sex ratio, about 950 per 1,000 boys. Now, even though like you coming from a state which has worked hard on improving the sex ratio, what are your plans now? How do you plan to really take it forward from here? Any campaign you have in mind, or any other different pattern which you're going to follow as to how to improve? Because obviously, you're becoming the Miss World is a message in itself.
Well, actually, in a lot of ways, I've been able to give back to my state, and I know I can do more as well.
Right.
Well, firstly, my project, I started it from Haryana, and that's how it grew.
I remember when you got the title, the Haryana politicians, the first comment they made was "Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao" has succeeded.
Well, so though I've never stayed in Haryana, I've been brought up in Delhi,
Right.
but of course my roots are from Haryana, and I felt that there's something I really want to do for my state, especially for the women, because we have had maximum women achievers, which means there is a lot of potential in the state. So with my project on menstrual hygiene, I actually aimed at empowering girls by making them feel confident about their bodies, which is the most important thing. And recently I was very happy that the Chief Minister announced that he'll be providing free sanitary pads in schools in Haryana, and as well as, because Haryana, more than 62% girls are anemic, he's made me the brand ambassador of Anemia Free Haryana. So I feel that these small efforts are actually helping people believe that girls can do something. And it's just great that when I go, parents bring their little daughters and they say that she's the future Miss World, and these small things, I think they make a huge difference and people want to have daughters then.
Your one comment which I remember and which actually stole the hearts of the people across the globe, that was your answer on motherhood, when you were asked that which is the highest paid job, and you obviously hinted at motherhood.
Yes.
But simultaneously also there was a lot of outcry, how could you make motherhood so commercial, how could you talk about it like that? But what is your idea of a woman in India or of a mother in India? You actually looked upon your mom.
Well, I feel everyone has a right to have an opinion, and that was my opinion. And like I said, when it comes to salary, salary is not just about the money, I think it's whatever you take out. And motherhood is a full-time job. I don't think motherhood is just something that happens to you. You have something to give, and then you get something in return as well. And that is the joy, the love, the respect, and that's what I meant. And for me, I think my mother, though she is a doctor, but she is an amazing person. She's been an amazing mother, and I think if someone has to be put at the highest rank, it should be all mothers.
When you got the title of Miss World, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, he's a very respectable politician, but he took a dig at your name.
Yes.
And he was indirectly actually lambasting the Modi government on its demonetization move. Now when you look back, I'm not saying that you comment on him or anything, but now when you look at the comment which he made, do you really consider it was a light-hearted humor, or was it something serious, or was it unintentional?
Well, my thoughts are the same when I saw it the first time, or even if I think about it today. I think it was just something he wanted to say, and I don't think I was really a part of it. Okay. And I replied what I had to say. But at this level, I'm just a kid, and I take jokes and I give back. So that way, and whatever his opinion was about demonetization, that is absolutely his opinion.
So Dr. Tharoor, when he wrote "just chill," so you're chilling at the moment.
Well, I'd also like to say one thing. Actually, my surname is not. Does not pronounce the same, so I really didn't take it on myself.
Okay, but the no offense meant to the surname, but a lot of people get the pronunciation wrong.
That's okay, I think even for me to realize that it's tough, because there's just so many different accents and people have so many different ways of saying it's absolutely okay.
You being a doctor, one of the very serious issues which currently India is facing, and that is of malnutrition.
Yes.
In fact, child and maternal malnutrition is such a serious issue. We are worse than the sub-Saharan and African countries.
Absolutely.
Any plans you have thought to carry forward a campaign, though India, the government is doing a lot of things about it, but any particular plan you've had in mind how to take it forward from here?
Well, during Miss India, we also had a Beauty with a Purpose sub-contest, and I was happy that there were 2 contestants who have been working on malnutrition in our country. And for me, nutrition begins at home, and when you make mothers, when you make them healthy, then automatically they're able to tend to the family. So I'm happy that along with the Chief Minister of Haryana, we have taken an initiative towards an anemia-free Haryana, and I think slowly
That's the number one campaign you're going to follow.
I think every goal is achieved in milestones, and that was the first milestone for us. So I think slowly we can progress, because it is very important. These basic issues need to be eradicated so that we can focus on bigger things later on.
Right. But when you talk about nutrition, girls and the ladies across the globe have been talking about your glowing skin and how you followed a very disciplined regimen, a beauty regimen. Just give us some tips.
I'll be honest. I'm a very normal person because I come from the north of India, so we love food.
Okay.
So there was discipline, but it wasn't like very strict.
Right.
I have a sweet tooth. I had my days when I used to love to binge on.
So you're not off sweets completely?
Absolutely not. I just had laddus at home.
Oh, cool.
I just had, and I was saying it's been so long because I have a major sweet tooth.
Right.
But definitely there is some certain balance that is involved, like that you have to realize about your body, but just be happy and eat natural.
Another thing which really caught the attention was your sweet little gesture where you shared your wardrobe with Miss South Africa. She had a wardrobe emergency where you agreed to share a gown with her. And for a normal person, it's so unthinkable that this kind of a camaraderie amidst fierce competition when it comes. Is it really an Indian quality which stood out?
I think Indians really know how to live together and to support each other. And her name was Adir, Miss World South Africa. And Adir, in fact, wrote in a post that strong women support each other. And that is something that is what Miss World is about. When you come there in a competition, you're there to support each other. And I knew that I had a lot of gowns. Thanks to my whole styling team, I went with so many gowns, and I was feeling bad I couldn't use all of them. And Bhavna Rao had specially made this gown for me, and it was beautiful. And Adir's gown was blue as well, the one she had, her dream gown which she planned, but unfortunately there was a malfunction in her gown. So the next day, even her second gown also, it had a problem. Its zip broke. Mm-hmm. So she was quite sad. And when I came to know about her gown, I told her, you can come to my room. I have so many gowns. I'll convince the designers. You just wear and you try all those gowns. And when she wore the blue gown, trust me, it was a perfect fit. It looked better on her than it looked on me. And I wanted her to have it at that moment. And of course, my team was very happy about it when I asked them that, can I give her the gown, please?
So it's got to be Manushi Chhillar to put up this kind of an attitude.
So they were very encouraging. They said, no, you should give her the gown. And I'm happy that she chose to wear it, because blue was her dream color. And, that was her day. I didn't want anyone to miss out on that dream day.
Another thing which I would want to ask you was that, there is a cliched term which is overzealously being used by men, women, a term like beauty with brain, which personally I feel it's very condescending, when it comes to judging a woman. What is your view about this cliched phrase?
I don't know. I think everyone's beautiful and everyone's got brains, technically. But I think it's just about having a golden heart. That's it. I really I've never used the term beauty with brains. Mm-hmm. I've always said that a human with a golden heart.
Human with a golden heart, that's very well put. But when you come to the beauty pageants, generally people feel that, it lacks diversity, it lacks substance.
Well, then they haven't seen Miss World.
Okay.
Even if you see top 5 at Miss World, we were the most diverse girls over there. I was from Asia. Then we had Miss Kenya, who was from Africa. We had Miss Mexico, who was a Latina. We had Stephanie, who was a European, Miss England, and we had Miss France, who was a mixture of India and French. Right. So actually, even if you see at the top 5, they were quite diverse. And if you look at Miss World, 118 countries, you can't be the same. All of you cannot.
And you've got friends now all across 118 countries.
I can travel without having to book hotel rooms across the whole world now. Cool. I'll save a lot of money.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Manushi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you.
So that's it on this episode of To The Point. See you next time with another personality. Goodbye and thanks for watching.